Welcome to Aura Insight. I'm here with Zahid, and we're going to talk about consistency today.
Yeah, so this is one of those underestimated, underrated characteristic. People don't value consistency. They look at, who's hot or, what the story of the day is. But they don't realize, over a long period of time, people don't talk about the one-hit wonders. They don't call the one-hit wonder superstars, right? It might come to the memory of everyone every now and then. But it's the people that are consistent over a long period of time that are the ones that we remember, right? So whether it be, the LeBron James, Messi, Kobe, Tom Brady, artists like Madonna, people that basically have stayed relevant for a long, long period of time. And yes, these are celebrities, also probably the best bosses you've worked for, the best managers, the best employees are the ones that demonstrated consistency over a long, long period of time.
And when it comes to looking at consistency across like celebrities, athletes and stuff like that, and personal brand, what happens with consistency or perception of consistency with their fan base when they decide to rebrand? Like let's say, yeah. So Taylor Swift comes out as a country singer, and then all of a sudden she's rebranded herself over the years to be like ultra pop.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I don't know. I don't actually have much insight on that. I don't know if you guys have put thoughts into that in terms of someone coming and reinventing themselves and still staying relevant. I think Madonna is a great example.
Yeah.
Madonna consistently reinvents herself, but I think where consistency comes in is, sure, she's coming out with a different genre of music. She did, pop. Mm-hmm. Then she did dance. Then she did a hip hop album. So she may not be consistent with the type of music that she's putting out, but what she's consistent with is her work ethic, her dedication to her craft,
her message,
the message, the effort and practice she puts into producing her album, into when she goes on tour. Know exactly what you're going to get when you go see a Madonna concert, because she's consistent in the effort that she puts into to give you the product that she's known for, regardless of what genre of music or how many. Madonna's reinvented herself dozens of times, but she has such a strong fan base because they know that they're going to get a performance from her when they go and spend the money to see one of her shows or buy her album.
Right.
That's actually brilliant. Yeah, I never thought of it from that point of view, but as you mentioned, it's the work ethic that never changes. And I believe in success is no fluke. Right? It isn't, right? Like everyone that's successful and that are the legends, the ones that have a long-term kind of space in your brain in terms of, that person was a really, really, effective person. That person was legendary. That person was really, really good, whether it be celebrities that we all know or be people that were the unsung heroes in companies, people we worked for, our parents, right? My mom, my dad, consistency, every day went to work, right? Mm-hmm. Every single day, right? No days off, period, right? Multiple jobs, right? So that those that consistency behavior, if you can emulate that, I think it's a very, very, very a strong thing. So again, success is not a fluke. So a lot of people I see, I have this talk as a manager, and I, bring someone aside and say, look, this isn't working, that's not working. How about doing this better, doing that better? So you know what happens? They'll try. They'll try for a day, a week, a month sometimes, and then they're like, hey, where's my love? Where's my salary raise? Where's my bonus? Where's my A, B, and C? Yeah. How come I'm not getting more followers in YouTube? Or how come I don't have more likes, right? They expect that instant gratification, right? Mm-hmm. Or they, you tell them to work out or eat better, and they do that for a week or two, and then they're expecting the results, right? The whole thing with consistency is you're not doing it for immediate results. You're doing it for the long term. Actually, you're probably not doing it for any other satisfaction than just pride and pride in yourself and your ethics, right? Mm-hmm. When you're looking for results, you're probably not going to be consistent, right? You're looking for that immediate result. So what I found is the people that were most consistent were the most humble to they had the most humble attitude to their success, right? I always say that, the worst enemy to success is your success, right? When you're successful, you're like, oh, I'm successful. People like me. People love me. And then you know what happens? You lose that edge that made you that way, right? And I've seen it too many times when it comes to like sports. I've seen it with, coworkers. It's the people that are humble that have that hunger every single day, right? I don't care if people respect me or say I'm doing my job well. I still have that hunger, and that's the pride. That's the thing that makes the difference, right? When you start believing your own hype, I think you kind of stunt your growth.
So it's like a combination of internal consistency and blocking out any external judgment that you might face when you're starting to find success in the long game, because consistency is that long game. It's not like you're not going to get any dopamine from being consistent.
Right. Yeah. And that's why it's it's a really underrated, it's not a very, sexy kind of thing, just because it's like, I have to do this every day for like 30 years or 20
it's
years.
Boring,
it's boring.
It's so boring.
But I think, 𝐿𝐉𝐒, you'd be someone that I would say is probably consistent. I don't know, but you're balancing,
But not
your kids.
I hope not.
You're balancing your family, you're balancing your kids, your career. You must have, a lot of elements of consistency.
I do. I started, let's say, working out, for example. I work out, I ride a bike, I ride a Peloton. And for years, I was one of those people, I'd work out for like a week and I'm like, oh, I don't see any muscles. Like, I'm going to just stop. So I started writing, and I started putting small measures of success. So instead of looking to see like, oh my God, I didn't lose a pound, it was like, oh, when I rode, I burned 2 more calories than I did the last time. And I was able to up my resistance 1 more point higher than I did the last time. So I started measuring myself in I look for small successes. That's how I measured. And that's what kept me being consistent. And so for me, with the exercise, it was just something that I just did every day. It just became a part of my routine. And then after like 6 months, I actually started seeing the results. I wasn't even looking for it, but it was other people were like, have you been doing something different? I'm like, well,
Right.
yeah, I actually been working out. I can tell. I'm like, really? But it was just because I made a commitment to this was something I'm going to do every day for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just did it for the 20 minutes and not trying to look for instant gratification, like you said,
Yeah.
because I think that can be like your downfall, is where you expect but that's a society that we live in, right? You want instant gratification. So yeah, I was committed to it. I set small measures for myself, and I just focused on that rather than looking at the big picture. And over time, I'm getting the results that I want. It definitely didn't happen overnight. That's for sure.
Right.
Well, and that's a good point too, is a reminder that consistency does not mean doing the same thing exactly the same way forever. It means showing up consistently and like committing to working out. It doesn't mean you have to use your Peloton for 20 minutes a day forever. It means you're going to carve out 20 minutes of time, maybe 30 minutes next week. It doesn't have to be the same thing. You're going to track different metrics like cadence or resistance the next time. And it means like consistency with the values of why you're doing those things repeatedly. And it doesn't mean that you're going to show up and just stamp the envelope every single day forever and not ever ask for a raise or new challenges or so I think that's always something that needs to be reminded. Consistency might sound boring, but it doesn't have to be. You just have to set like those little satisfactions that you can get from the 2, what did you say, 2, like you burn 2 calories
more than last
time.
And I think there's one more thing that I'd like to mention when it comes to consistency is finding your passion. If it's something that you're not really interested in, even if you're good at it, because a lot of people think that if they're good at something, that means they're passionate about it. So there's been a lot of basketball players that they get interviewed like 5 or 10 years after they leave the league. And then they mentioned that, I was never into basketball. Like I was good at it.
Yeah.
People, I was big and I was athletic and, I thought I liked it, but I never was into it, right? Like it wasn't my passion. And they were good, right? They stayed in the league, made no money, but people thought they would do better. And I've seen that in real life too. So somebody, a really good manager, but they don't actually like being a manager. They don't like to tell people what to do and lead. They, or they're being in certain jobs or certain type of industries. And even though they're good at it, you just assume that they like it and that's their passion. But it's so far from the truth. So I think when you find something that you're passionate about, I think it makes it easier for you to be consistent in trying. So for example, and I know a lot of people that are really into music, but that's not what they do as their full-time thing. They're an accountant, they're in IT, they're in different things. But when in the weekend, they just jam and they just love it. And they learn this little instrument, not little, but they learn this instrument for weeks and months and trying to perfect a beat or whatever, right? So I'm like, that's a lot of passion, right? And they're so good at it, but they haven't taken the plunge to like pursue it full time. But I think really the point is when you have something that you're passionate about, it allows you to be consistent, work on it every day, right? If it's something that you don't really love, you're probably going to try to, find consistency, but you're going to probably start losing interest because it wasn't something that you liked really, right? Maybe you were good at it, but that was probably the extent of it.
And even with working out, like lifting weights is so boring. And you're supposed to be consistent with your exercise. There's so many more things that you can do that doesn't involve going to a gym. Like kickboxing is so fun. It's so satisfying and it's like one of the best workouts ever. And you're still getting the same benefits just in an activity that you enjoy, and you're still showing up for yourself consistently. So, I mean, that's just my little side story about exercise because it just sounds so boring, but it doesn't have to be. You just have
some
to
people are into it. Like they're so into it. Like Sanjay, one of our co-hosts, we started working on a university, right? He was my university friend. And he kept doing it for like 20 plus years, right? He's in good shape. I'm not, right? But we used to work out together, right? But he kept it because he liked it. Like he read
so
the
he
books.
Enjoyed it.
And me, I'll work out when I'm like, I'm like, too far on the scale, one side of the scale. So then I'll work out. Then I'm like, I'm good. Okay, I don't need it again. But the people that like are into it, they love it, they like it, they want to be healthy. As using exercise as an example, they're the ones that find the consistency, right, and do it for a long period of time.
Right. They're passionate.
What keeps me working out though is I love music. So if I have a kick-ass playlist, that's what's good. I don't even realize that I'm working out because I'm listening to the playlist. Like it's literally a party. And while I'm working out, I'm lost in the music. And then I realize 20 minutes have gone by and oh my God, I just finished an exercise because I lost. So I found something that I really love, which is music. And I put that into something that I don't love, which is working out. And
you're tricking your brain.
And they also have a good community.
Yeah.
Peloton has a good community.